So adapting to change can be daunting, and knowing when to do so isn't always obvious. To compound this problem, sometimes you need to adapt to your environment, and sometimes you need your environment to adapt to you. I have a theory on which one of these is better, and the answer might surprise you. When you have a disability, they usually send an occupational therapist to your house, whose job it is to actually make a whole bunch of little adaptations to your house to make things easier to use. I remember when this happened to me the first time I moved out to my own place, like 20 years ago after coming out of hospital. I remember the occupational therapist saying to me, "Oh, can you use that kettle that you have there, or should we get you one that you can use with the hooks?" And I thought to myself, well, no, I want to be able to use any kettle with these hooks. That's the point of it. Because otherwise, what would happen when I go to a friend's house or stay in an Airbnb or a hotel? I'd be effectively trapped within the confines of this house if all the things in this house that I could use are the only versions of that thing I can use. I quickly discovered that it was better for me to adapt to my environment rather than adapting my environment to me, because my skills were transferable, but my environment was always transient.
This is when I began to understand the importance of knowing the difference between self-adaptation and environment adaptation, and how changing your instinctual response can make you more agile. So consider chameleons. Chameleons adapt their color to blend seamlessly with their surroundings. This camouflage helps them evade predators and blend in. Well, similarly, in our lives, there are times when it's advantageous to adapt to these circumstances. You may change jobs several times throughout your career. Each workplace or industry has its unique culture and dynamics. Rather than adapting to overhaul the entire work environment to your liking, developing the skill of adaptability allows you to thrive in diverse work settings. Your ability to communicate, to problem solve, and collaborate can all shine in any workplace. Now let's shift our focus to making your environment adapt to you. Think about beavers. They construct intricate dams to create suitable habitats. These structures alter their environment to meet their needs, providing safety and a stable food supply. In life, there are moments where it's crucial to shape your environment to align with your objectives. Say if you're a student studying for a big exam, to create an environment conducive to learning, you might need to minimize distractions, establish a study routine, and even seek a quiet place to concentrate. But environments can't always be tailored to suit you, and if you end up expecting them to, you'll be forever playing catch-up. Even though I believe leaning into the idea of self-adaptation is far better than adapting your environment to you, it's crucial that in some instances you find the balance between these two approaches. For example, in any partnership, there's a need for compromise. You adapt to each other's preferences, routines, and quirks, but you also strive to create an environment of mutual support and growth. It's a dance between both parties to contribute to a harmonious relationship. So it's essential to recognize when it's time to shift your approach. Take career choices, for instance. Initially, you might adapt to the demands of your job, but if it consistently hinders your personal growth or well-being, it's time to consider making changes. This might involve pursuing new opportunities or reshaping your career path to align better with your skills, your interests, or even your values. So it clearly pays to develop a deep understanding of your skills and limitations when it comes to adaptation. So why do I attempt to optimize for self-adaptation? Imagine you're a seasoned chef and you find yourself in a new kitchen. The kitchen has different utensils to what you're used to, a different layout, and unfamiliar ingredients. What do you rely on to cook a delicious meal? It's not about redesigning the entire kitchen to match your preferences. It's about your culinary skills, your adaptability. You're confident in your ability to adapt to a new environment because your skills are transferable. Similarly, in life, we find ourselves in ever-changing environments, be it at work, in our relationships, or in different phases of life. Trying to reshape every environment to suit our desires can not only be exhausting, but also unrealistic. This is why I think self-adaptation is far better than environmental, because environments are transient, they're constantly evolving, but your ability to adapt stays with you.
Basically, where you can, be more like the chameleon and less like the beaver.
Life is an ever-changing environment. As you grow and evolve, your circumstances change. Developing adaptability skills means you're better equipped to handle life's curveballs. You can navigate through challenges, learn from experiences, and keep moving forward. So as you navigate this journey, remember, Adaptation is a dynamic process. Sometimes you'll need to adapt, and other times you'll need to take charge and create the environment you desire. Keep in mind that it's always preferable to develop the skill of self-adaptation, because your skills are transferable, but your environment is transient. Remember that while environments come and go, the ability to adapt stays with you. It's a skill that empowers you to navigate life's twists and turns with grace and confidence, instead of trying to reshape the world to fit you. It's a choice that can make all the difference in your journey. I'm off to boil some water. Today's quote of the episode comes from the one and only Charles Darwin, who said, "It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It is the one that is most adaptable to change." I like this quote because it reminds us that by our very nature, we are adaptive organisms. We've adapted as a species, like other species, and even when it feels like doing so in an individual sense is daunting, we all have the ability to adapt nestled within our nature. If you have a quote that you'd like featured at the end of one of these episodes, leave it in the comments or send me a message on Instagram and I'll try and work it into one of the future episodes. And that's all from me.